Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Creative Coach. Today we are talking about the sensitive topic of what to do when you're not booking. Now, when you are an entrepreneur and you're not booking, it can be a really scary time. It can make you question your entire business, your entire life, all of your choices you've ever made. And I don't want you to freak out if you're not booking. Now, what are some common reasons people stop booking out of nowhere? Well, there's a few reasons. One is maybe your lead generation sources dried up. And so what that means is when you're running a business, you get leads and you get people saying, I want to work with you, or contacting you from lots of different places. You might do a lot of business on social media, which means you're over on Instagram and Facebook and you're advertising and people are finding you there. You might have a lot of word of mouth referrals, which is a really popular and really lucrative referral source where other people are just recommending you all the time. And they're just like, you have to work with this person, you have to work with this person. They're sending people your way. That's a lead generation source. Another thing that could be the problem is maybe you stopped advertising. You got into a really busy state and you were doing a ton of work and you just stopped marketing yourself, which means people don't know you exist anymore. You served the clients you had and now they're off. Maybe they're telling people about you, maybe they're not. But now no one else is contacting you and you're like, wait, I just finished all this work, I made all this money, and now I'm not making anything and now I'm not booking. What's going on? That can all be lead generation problems. It can all be marketing issues. Now you can also move into you're not booking because you're not coming into your business with the right energy anymore. Maybe you're jaded or you're really burnt out and you're just not feeling it. That kind of attitude can really come across in your content, the way you're showing up on social media, the kind of copy that you're writing. Maybe you stopped blogging, or something has just changed in the way that you're presenting yourself and the energy you're coming at sales calls with and things like that. All those things can affect people actually deciding to reach out to you in the first place, or people deciding that they're actually going to give you their business over somebody else who's seemingly more excited about their business. Third, another reason you might not be booking is somebody actually had like a really bad experience with you and now they're telling people specifically not to work with you. This doesn't happen as often, but it does happen. Sometimes things just go south and you lost a referral source, and instead of them just kind of disappearing, they're actually working against you now. So if that's the case, think back. Did somebody have a really terrible experience with you? And were they very upset? How did you resolve that issue? Are they maybe somebody who's going to tell other people, hey, you need to really avoid this person because they did a terrible job, or they really made me angry, or something happened? Check in with them. I know it can be kind of scary and it's not really something you want to do, but just follow up with them and be like, hey, I'm really sorry, because apologizing can go a really long way in a situation like that. The fourth reason you might not be booking is maybe you raised your prices and now you've entered a completely different pricing bracket. And sometimes when this happens, it means that you might have raised your prices a little prematurely. Maybe your skill set and your reputation and your bookings weren't quite at the level to sustain a price raise, and that's okay. There's a couple different things you can do. You can either try to stay at your current higher price and just try to network with new people and really guerrilla market and try to get work. Or the better option might be lowering your prices back down into the bracket you were previously in, reconnecting with those leads and referral sources, and then building back up a little bit slower and more sustainable into the next price bracket. It's not super fun, but it is very effective, especially if you need money and you raised your prices and realized, I'm not actually in demand at this level. I was in demand at a different level, and you can't raise your prices without demand. We've talked about that a little bit in my pricing video, so I will link that here in the comments. But that is a very popular reason that people stop booking, especially once they move up to another level. Another reason you might not be booking is the thing you're offering isn't actually wanted by your audience. And this can happen with new services and new products. And usually when that happens, somewhere during your market analysis and testing the market phase of your product or service, you didn't perform very well, or the numbers just weren't there, but you went in anyway and were like, I'm going to provide this thing that's really missing in the market. But you may not have really realized that the reason that service or product was missing from the market is because no one actually wanted it. And so what that means is if you've got a product or a service that absolutely nobody is buying and you're doing marketing and no one's even interested or reaching out to you and you don't see other people doing that thing, it might be time to reassess and readjust. Maybe you could lean into a different kind of market or offer a different kind of service that's going to fill a void, but it's also going to be paired with something that you know clients really want. Another reason you might not be booking is because you don't have a good process. And what this means is people come on and they work with you and you give them the product and you get them the service they paid for and they're like, okay, cool, thank you for that. And they move on. But you didn't give them a really awesome experience that makes them, one, want to rave about you, and two, want to refer you after they're done working with you. So one of the ways you can do this is working through a great client experience. I'm also going to link my client experience video and worksheet so you can go through and think about what is every phase and every step of the way that my client is going to go through when working with me, and what are ways I can anticipate their needs and make it really easy for them. Those are all things that are going to add to your client experience. And then let's talk about asking them to refer you. When someone's done working with you, they might not process in their mind, this person would want a referral from me. They want me to tell other people about them. In their mind, they're out here running their business. They're just as busy as you are, doing what they need to do. They got your service, it was good, and now they're moving on to the next thing. They might not know that you want their referral unless you tell them and ask them. And that seems so obvious and a little awkward, but it's true. People are busy and they don't always think, oh my gosh, I need to refer all my service providers. So when you're offboarding them, when you've provided their service, or maybe you're going to retain them on for a really long time, when you see them or when you're finished working with them from time to time, just say, oh my gosh, I would love it if you would just tell other people I'm taking on new clients right now. Do you have anybody in your network who you think would want my services? Can you connect us? Can you be the bridge between me, the service provider, you, my current client, and maybe another client that they know that you don't? Just ask them, tell them you're open for business and you are ready for their referral. And trust me, if you've got a good relationship with your clients, they are going to love telling people about you. And that is the number one way that you're going to grow your business, is through referrals, because people trust other people's opinions and recommendations more than they're going to trust just stumbling across you online. So that's a couple tips for why you may not be booking and how to fix them.